World models are AI systems that build internal representations of reality, allowing them to simulate and predict future states using knowledge of physics, causality, and spatial relationships. Inspired by human cognition, they let AI rehearse outcomes internally rather than rely solely on real-world trial and error. The framework, introduced in 2018 by David Ha and Jürgen Schmidhuber, uses a vision model that compresses sensory input, a memory model that predicts future states, and a controller that chooses actions. Jan LeCun and other proponents see them as essential for reasoning, planning, and common sense, capabilities current large language models generally lack. A recent Harvard study tested whether foundation models can develop generalizable world models from training data. Researchers created an inductive bias probe to measure whether a model's default assumptions align with a given world model. Using orbital trajectory data, they examined if models could go beyond predicting orbits to inferring the underlying Newtonian physics and applying it to other domains. Results showed accurate orbit predictions, but failure to generalize gravitational laws, suggesting reliance on task-specific heuristics rather than transferable principles. The study also examined reasoning models and an Othello board scenario. Models often produced legal next moves without reconstructing the correct state, indicating they conflate different states when they share the same possible next token. Conclusions. Foundation models can have strong predictive abilities, but poor transferable world models. A model's inductive bias can reveal its internal world representation. Poor world models often result from grouping distinct states with similar legal continuations. Nathan Labens criticized these conclusions, noting that the experiments used relatively tiny models, about 109 million parameters, and small datasets compared to modern frontier models. Larger-scale research shows that with sufficient data and model size, large language models can develop emergent world models. Labens argued the Harvard results reflect limitations of the tested setup, not an inherent inability of large language models to form generalizable models. So, there are three main approaches to advancing AI toward artificial general intelligence that are often compared. First, pre-training scaling. This means increasing model size, data volume, and compute. This method has driven rapid progress, enabling broad generalization from data, but it may be hitting diminishing returns due to data quality limits and inherent architectural constraints. Critics like Jan LeCun doubt it can reach human-level intelligence. Second, test-time compute scaling. Here, more compute is allocated during inference through methods like chain of thought, tree of thought, and self-consistency. This improves reasoning and adaptability without retraining, but it still depends on pre-trained architectures and lacks deep grounding in reality. And third, world models. These are architectures that simulate environments and predict future states using causal and physical reasoning. They offer potential for long-term planning and common sense, but require vast multimodal datasets, face scalability issues, and are less mature than large language model scaling approaches. Applications are already emerging. For example, Fei Li's World Labs generates interactive three-dimensional worlds from images, physics simulations are becoming more accurate, and advanced video models can now simulate realistic motion. However, research shows that video models often capture visual realism without true physical understanding. World models may not be the sole path to artificial general intelligence, but, solving transferable knowledge would be a major breakthrough, enabling consistent reasoning, better planning, and richer media generation.